Guys, we're screwed. I mean, totally, royally f***ed. The housing market's gonna blow up and everyone's gonna lose their shirt. Like 2008 style. Nah, I'm just kidding. But if you've heard that from others, or if you think that that's maybe your interpretation of what's going on here, we're gonna dive deep, pull back some layers, and tell you what we think is gonna happen in the Bend-Redmond market in 2023. So smash the like button, subscribe if you hadn't already, maybe even leave us a comment on what you think's about to happen, and grab some popcorn, because we are gonna rock the boat. I had the chance to listen to a couple of really great economists speak recently on both the national economic forecast and the local Central Oregon / Bend economic forecast. And the biggest thing that they agreed on was that economists are really bad at predicting what's going to happen next in the future. Pause for laughter? So what are they good at? I mean, we've heard everything from the sky is falling to things are actually going to stay hot. Even I thought that the real estate market would be back to, a robust, hot market by about January. But in my defense, that's when they said inflation was transitory. I didn't believe it either, but hey, I ran with it. So what is really happening? Because everyone I talk to always wants to know, how's the market? Well, the number one biggest thing that everyone's talking about, and I'm sure you've been talking about it or heard about it too, is that the interest rates are just ripping hot right now and totally unstable. They're up 3 points, they're down 1, they're back up 2. And this is in response to inflation. And what the Fed has done is they've raised, obviously, their interest rates 400 basis points, or maybe more, maybe 475, depending on when you see this and when their next meeting is. But the point is, they're raising the interest rates because of this inflation that we just can't seem to get a grasp on, although it may be finally starting to come back down. Now, many believe that we have seen the peak of mortgage interest rates, but they said the same thing 2 months ago. So who knows? Rates could very well keep going all the way up to 10%. I don't really know. But all things considered, interest rates really are what has put the whole market on pause. Yes, the quick and the dirty is that interest rates have caused the market to slow down. In fact, it's full stop. And prices, consequently, have actually began to come back down. But first, I think we need to take a step back and take a look at what an actual normal market really looks like. Because a lot of headlines are talking about how the market is going bonkers, inventory's up 100%, and home prices are down 20%. And to be honest, I would love for the market to take a big old nasty dive so I could scoop up a deal. And even though we have seen a rather dramatic swing in activity and pricing and stuff, what does it mean when taken into consideration with everything else that's going on? And to be clear, just because a recession is likely coming, in fact, the economists that I talked to gave us about a 65% chance that there's a recession coming, but if you talk to anybody else on YouTube or anybody in the media, they're gonna say it's absolutely imminent, we're having a recession. That doesn't mean that the real estate market will crash. In fact, over the last 6 recessions, the real estate market has only ever lost value twice. One of them was 1.9%. That's 2%, that's, who cares? That's not much at all. And the other time was at nearly 20% loss of value. But that was the Great Recession. And if you recall, the housing market was the reason for the recession in the first place. But normally, we don't see a loss of value because of a recession. So let's scale back out a bit. Whoa, not that much. Okay, so demand is down because of interest rates, but what about inventory? Actual homes on the market. Now, what the news will tell you is that it's way up. But it's way up from crazy historic lows due to the pandemic. I kid you not, there were weeks where there were only 30 to 40 homes for sale in Bend total. So now that there's like 250 to 300 homes on the market in Bend, people are saying that the inventory is way up, but it's not. Let's take a look over the last 10 years, shall we? This chart shows the amount of supply in Deschutes County over the past 10 years. And look where we used to be before COVID. Then the goofy little drop from COVID, and now the rebound. That's not good. So yeah, in reality, we did shoot up a bunch as far as the amount of inventory over the past 6 months. But you wanna know my take on it? A bunch of that uptick were sellers who were trying to catch the tail end of that big appreciation wave that we had in the very beginning of 2022, and they missed. Interest rates shot up and buyers dropped off. And all those homes got caught with their pants down, trying to get this much out of their house when the market was really down here. My office regularly takes a bunch of listings, and it's been months since we've had more than 2 listings drop in a week. We normally take, 5 or 6 every single week. And again, if you look back at that chart, inventory is still really low and falling. Now, part of that falling is because of the time of year. Yes, that may be true. But another idea is this theory called the locked-in effect, meaning the majority of homeowners refied over the last couple of years in the high 2s, low 3s as far as their interest rate goes. And whether they want to move up in home, down in home, or even horizontally in home, there's no way that they want to trade a 3% interest rate for like a 7% interest rate. It just makes absolutely no sense to do that. Which indicates to me that nobody's going to be selling their house who currently lives here, who needs to stay here, until these rates come back down. And to be honest, we have no idea when that's going to happen. So if nobody in Bend is planning to sell anytime soon, well, there still won't be any inventory. And if rates do stay high, there won't be any buyers around either. This leads me to think that the overall number of transactions will really slow over the course of the next year. Here's a graph of the transaction volume over the past 10 years. And I'm thinking this year is going to be much lower. 20, 30, maybe even as much as 50% fewer transactions will occur this next year. So won't that lower prices? I don't think so. Most likely we're going to lose all of the gains from the very beginning of 2022. We shot up in the very beginning of 2022, huge appreciation gains, and since then we've been trickling back down. But from there, I don't think it'll go any lower. Remember, pricing drops are a function of absolutely low demand and tons of options or inventory supply. We have low demand right now, but we also have low supply. And as long as those two actually balance each other, prices won't go down or up. If there's more demand, then to be honest, we could actually see prices starting to uptick north again. In fact, we literally lost a deal to multiple offers last week. And it was the 3rd situation that I had heard of like that in that same week. But you know what? It was the best option out of only a few. And when it came time for my clients to make a decision on which one they wanted to buy, there was more than one party willing to put their money on the line for that house. Yes, I'm a total optimist. And yes, I think that the market will slow, meaning that the total number of transactions, that number will come down. But I maintain that the values will remain very stable, and in fact could actually start increasing in the later part of the first quarter of 2023. I mean, another problem we have are the prices and how high they actually are. But we can talk about that in another video. They're way too high. They are way too high, I know, but right now there's nothing really we can do about it. In a nutshell, inventory will stay low, out-of-town buyers will keep coming to town, and locals will most likely hunker down and not make any real estate moves until these rates come back down a bit. Thanks so much for following along, and we hope you guys got something out of this. If you ever need anything in real estate, my team and I would love to be your resource of choice. Be sure to reach out to us at KrommRealEstate.com, and we would love it if you would follow us on all of our other social media channels. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great week. I mean, totally, royally effed.